You want to get started, Judy?
Sure. Kevin, do you want to give your little speech?
Sure. Uh, Welcome everyone. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you'll notice that um, you are currently muted. Everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the committee co-chairs and any presenters as we move through the agenda. Following the presentations, as we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or the thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you are on the phone, it is *9 to raise hand and *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you are using an older version of Zoom, you will need to go to the participant section where you will find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me, I'm here for support. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start the meeting. I'm Judy Schneider. I'm co-chair of the Parks Committee along with Felice Farber. And before we go any further, I just want to wish our co-chair, Felice Farber, a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Judy.
Your birthday with us.
I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather do on my birthday.
Okay, great. Well, we're happy to have you. Let me just full screen. Okay, just wanted to get my screen set up. All right, the first item on the agenda is that we've had a change in parks personnel in the last month. And a lot of the people who are on the east side have gone to the west side, and a lot of people on the west side have come to the east side. So we thought we would introduce the personnel that are here and tell you about them. The first thing that has happened is the Community District 8, which is us, our community board, and Community District 15 for Parks, which is the Esplanade, have been split into two. So there are new directors for each district. Let's start with Community District 8. I know Therese Flores, who is the regional manager for District 8, is here. Can we unmute her? And Felice, maybe you want to say, Teresa, maybe you want to introduce yourself and say a few words.
Hi there. Thank you so much, Judy. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for welcoming me and introducing me to the community board so officially. I feel like I'm a part of a good team. I'm coming back here after having served as manager here years ago from 2006 to about 2009. And I had a lot of fun and enjoyed all of your parks before, and they have gotten so much more beautiful with all of the flowers and things that are growing. So hooray for you guys, and I'm here to help in any way I can. I really enjoy all of your parks here, so thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Our manager under Therese is Sheena Kaufman, and Sheena started vacation this week. So she is not here with us. But Kevin, maybe you can tell me, Lori Knowles, who works with Sheena, is she here? Can we introduce her?
Lori is currently not on the call unless she's under a different name. If so, please message me, but she's not on the call right now.
Okay, well, maybe she'll join us later. So that's District 8. Then District 15, I don't know if any of these people are joining us. This is the district along the Esplanade. The regional manager is Robert McLean. Is he with us?
Robert is also not here currently.
Okay. And then the manager is Jeff Martin.
Jeff is not on the call right now.
Okay, and then the level 2 under Jeff is Larry Durante.
I'm sorry to say Larry is not here, but
Okay, so maybe
if-
they'll join us later in the meeting.
Mhm.
You'll let Felice and myself know, and when we get a break, we could introduce them. Therese, maybe you can answer a question for me. Now that they've split District 15, the Esplanade, into separate district with separate managers and people, what is District 15? From where to where does it cover?
So District 15 has always been the waterfront. And when I was the manager here, we had to cover the waterfront as well. And Sheena's very aware of the waterfront issues. And we're very close with Jeff and Mike. So we support them as much as anybody else. They're right along from 145th all the way down to 25th. But the District 15 itself is just the part that goes to about, I think, 54th Street right now. Is that where we
So
have yeah,
it's from
54th Street all the way to 125th.
54th to 125th. Okay, I wasn't sure exactly what they covered. Okay, thanks a lot on that.
You're welcome.
Okay, and if they come, we'll introduce them later. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, especially if Lori and Gina isn't here. Maybe you can fill us in with on any.
And we have a lot of wonderful events coming up, and I know you know
Well,
about
that
the movie.
okay, that's item 5 on the agenda.
Okay, call me when you need me to talk about it.
Felice, you're up.
Thank you, Judy. So now we'd like an update. I think Steve Simon is on. We'll get an update on John Jay Park and the work that the Parks Department is doing there. So Steve? Is Steve not on?
Steve specifically is not on. No.
Is there someone else covering for parks?
I sent NYC Parks a prompt to unmute.
Hello.
Hi,
You guys.
how are you?
Hey, I'm great. My name is Max Goodstein. I also have Steve Simon with me as well.
Hi, Max. Hi, Steve.
Hi. Hey, so yeah, we're going to share 2 updates with you guys about the reconstruction for 2 of our projects, John Jay Alcohol Shores. I believe John Jay is up first. I'm just going to share my
Yep.
screen. Excellent. If I can just have the permission to share the screen.
Oh, you should be able to do it now.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh yeah, so the first project we're going to be presenting today is the John Jay Park multi-purpose play area, ADA ramp, and the Etritz Plaza pavement reconstruction. This is, of course, at East 77th Street at Cherokee Place in Community Board 8, and this was funded with $1 million from Councilmember Julie Menon. The goals for this project: provide safe pavement services for all users, create and maintain ADA accessibility across the entire site, facilitate active recreation, and restore the site drainage patterns. Again, this is located at 77th and Cherokee on the Upper East Side. It's not a flood zone, it's very elevated. It's surrounded by mostly residential uses, and it's not landmarked. So this is the site. This is the Etritz Plaza, which is the first scope of work. And you can see that the Etritz Plaza pavement's in a state of disrepair, has the alligator cracking, and it's structurally not right. So we have to actually rip it all up down to the base course and put brand new asphalt down, which is essentially a new surface. So we're not just doing a top coat. This is an entirely new asphalt pavement surface. You can also see, looking at the first image, the multi-purpose play area, which is on the left, which is currently elevated above the rest of the park. This presents an issue because all we have the access to right now with that FUPA is staircases. So it's not accessible with a wheelchair or other users. We will be fixing that. Again, just more images looking towards the pool house building of the Etritz Plaza, which is in a state of disrepair with the plaza. We are not changing the design here. This is strictly a replacement in kind project. In image number 2, you can see the west staircase, which we are actually not replacing. because it's in good condition and we need a staircase to get up to the little multi-purpose play area. However, the east staircase in image number 1, we are replacing with a new ramp. So this is a new accessible ramp, which has never been done before at John Jay and PPA. We're going to put ADA compliant handrails, and it'll go straight into the multi-purpose play area, allowing every user to access this site as one should. In image number 2, you're going to see that new drinking fountain, which we are not touching. That was part of a previous reconstruction at the sitting area over there. That is outside the contract limit line. So inside the multi-purpose play area itself, you can see that we have a drinking fountain, which we will be replacing in the spirit of accessibility with a new type E high-low, which is accessible. You also see the tennis court in this image. We will be repainting that. The asphalt, again, is at a state of disrepair. It's cracking. It has structural issues. We're going to fix all of that. So it's going to be brand new pavement surfaces, very safe, and it's going to drain correctly. Just more images of the multi-purpose play area. This is the 2 other quarters of the site, and you can see the basketball here, which is like these half courts. We are going to replace them in kind with new nets, new backstops, and new color seal. Again, just the existing additions, the 3 scopes, the entrance plaza, the actual ramp, and the PPA. So this is the scope of work, replacing all the pavement in the entrance plaza with that kind of shaded area, and then the new ramp, which is in that beige color, going up to the multi-purpose play area, with the tennis courts and the basketball repainted on. This is our material palette, folded asphalt, single post backstops, ADA compliant handrails, the color seal, and the type E drinking fountain, which is accessible. And that is the scope. Would you like me to go to the next project before we take questions?
Oh, if I could just
Yeah.
ask a quick question, sorry. So so you're not doing the whole central walkway. You're just doing the entrance plaza.
So the central walkway, we're doing as much as we can without touching the safety surface that's on it with that play equipment. So if it's bare asphalt, we will be replacing it.
Okay.
Felice, we're doing the vast majority of the central plaza.
Could you go back to that slide again, please?
Yes. Which slide would you want?
The first one, the entrance. Yeah. So now that goes all the way across? You're doing the whole thing? I'm a little confused.
Exactly. So going from the gate where 77th Street is to the park, all the way to the pool building in the back.
Oh, you're going into the park. But are
yeah.
you going down the other way past the entrance?
So we're not going past the actual entrance of the park. It's just where the gate is and the fence is. And then going straight back to the pool building where the bathrooms are.
Also,
So you're going from 77th to 78th Street for the entrance plaza, and then the central walk, is that correct?
So
No,
it's just a walkway inside the park itself, the actual entrance plaza inside the park.
Well, I mean, there's some confusion here because we've been using the term central walkway and entrance plaza interchangeably. It's one and the same, basically. So we're basically talking about that entire walkway or plaza that leads from the entrance of the park all the way to the back to the park house.
okay, you're talking about inside the park. I was
Yes,
talking about
yes.
outside the park.
No, we're not dealing with you're thinking maybe about the sitting area with the sculpture behind the apartment building on Cherokee
Yeah.
Place?
Right, are you paving
No.
any of that?
No, we're not touching that.
Okay, I was confused. Also in that picture, I saw a tree bed with the stump. Are you replacing that tree or taking out that tree bed?
That will be taken care of, but
In your
not part of this
first
project.
picture.
Yes, that will be taken care of, but it would not be part of this project. This project's just asphalt replacement and concrete work for the ramp
Right,
itself.
stop, no, go back,
Okay,
right there. Are you
Yes.
is that gonna
So-
be removed?
not part of this project, but it will be.
No, but well, are we planting a tree? What are we doing there?
So we're not planting a tree as part of this project.
But are we paving it over?
No, we're keeping the tree pit as is, so at a later date, we go in there, take away the stump and plant the tree.
Okay, so at some point, we're gonna go back and plant a tree,
Okay,
but it's like a pretty small tree pit.
you'll have to enlarge it.
Yeah, I think we may need to enlarge it.
Are there
Okay.
any questions from the public?
Rita? I don't see, let's see if there are any members of the public first. I apologize.
This is very exciting, and I'm sorry that everything has deteriorated to this point, but I have a question. When are you going to start the work, and how long do you estimate it will take to complete it?
Sure. So we're planning to start the work next spring, and it'll take about 6 months to complete.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next up is Valerie Mason.
Thank you. Can we go back to that tree stump for a second? So if I understand what you're saying, you're going to lay down all new asphalt. You're not going to touch the tree pit, but at some point that stump is going to have to be removed. So isn't that going to upset all the work that you've done?
It should not. So this contract, this project is part of our limited scope state of repair contracts, which we do a bunch of sites within these contracts across the city. And we're able to do them so fast because it's a limited scope project. So there's no tree planting, there's no fence work, it's just asphalt replacement. When we go in there and actually take away the stump, we could grind the stump out, take the stump out, and plant a new tree in that pit.
Well, but isn't that dangerous? The way this stump is just, I mean, there are kids running around and.
Yeah, we'll try to take care of that sooner rather than later. We don't need to wait for this project in order to deal with that. I'll try to do it. You make a good point. We'll try to deal with that as soon as we can.
I mean, I just want to expand on what Judy was saying. I mean, you're going to have to expand that tree pit, right? Because it's not large enough based on the new rules, or is it different because it's in the park?
No, I have a feeling we probably need to expand the tree pit. So we probably should take care of that before we move on to the rest of that project.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for pointing this out.
Thanks, Steve. Next up is Craig.
Hi. What's the plan to close that down, that the pictures that we're looking at?
Yeah, so
like, is it going to be sectioned off, or because there are other areas of the park, like obviously the back part where all the tables are, the exercise area, and then the entrance to the left is where the kids' playground is.
Exactly. So the plan for this is to try to minimize the disruption for the rest of the park as much as possible. At some point, the actual playground will have to close just for a short amount of time, just to replace the asphalt in front of that entrance.
Okay.
But for the most part, we're going to use construction fencing and sequencing to minimize any disruption for the rest of the park. This will also happen when the pool is closed, so it will not affect the pool opening. It should happen before then. And then the sitting area in the back as well, we're going to try to keep open as much as possible, but it will have to close at some point just to replace that asphalt.
And will you provide notice, put up notice in the park on what the closing is, and also notify the community board so we can post a schedule?
Certainly, yeah, I'll flag that.
Thank you.
So that's going all the way past the pool hall. It's going down to the end, to the southern part.
It's
No, it's only going straight ahead to the pool to the building. We're not going into the sitting area. We're going to touch upon the sitting area slightly when we put in the new ADA compliant entrance. But but that sitting area in the back, we're not going to undo the work that we did there a year or two ago.
Right. I was going to say, you guys just did that. And what about the basketball court? Like, what's the anticipated turnaround time to put the new basket, the new hoops in, and paint and so on?
Well, that's that's part of the project for the entire MPPA. But I don't think we can carve out just the courts. But we're going to. I mean, this particular contract gives us the opportunity to do expedited construction work, so that this is a standard capital project could take up to a year. This is should not take more than 6 months, if that much.
Mhm.
So we're going to try to minimize the closures in each of these sections, and we'll try to phase in the work so that the central walkway may take place at one point, and then the MPPA afterwards, or vice versa.
Okay, so that, I guess that might maybe I didn't phrase it properly. So you're not going to be doing all kind of different projects, all these different projects at once. You're going to do, the walkway or part of the walkway, and then when that's completed or partially
Yeah.
completed, then you're going to start working on the basketball court.
Yeah, we still have to work out the sequencing as we said, but as Max said, but our intention right now is to phase one part and then do the next part.
Yeah, keep as much of the park open as possible.
Okay, and is there going to be some sort of, you guys usually do like a presentation, like a layout that's available on the site?
Yes, yeah, there'll be we post construction. So
Yeah, we have a construction sign.
we'll be posting a construction sign that shows the layout. Yes.
It's basically what's
Okay.
on the screen right now. It's
Yeah.
what's there. It's no change in design,
Yeah.
Got it.
except for the
Okay.
new AD.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And if I could just mention, the reason that that I've been pushing for this project is because I felt really badly a couple of years ago when one of the local schools wanted to have an event here at in the park, and then when they found out that it wasn't fully accessible, they chose not to proceed. So this then became a high priority for me, and I'm very happy that Councilmember Menon was able to provide the funding. Well, we're going to be mentioning Councilmember Menon a number of times tonight,
Mhm.
because she funded not only this project, but the next one,
Mhm.
and a series of special events that we're going to be able to announce that are coming up in June. So I don't know if anyone from her office is on this call. I hope someone is, because I would like the message to get back that we are certainly publicly acknowledging all that she has done here for parks.
Thanks, Steve, for recognizing that, and thanks to Councilmember Menon for the needed investment in making significant improvements in the parks in this community. It's truly appreciated. Sahar, you have a question, and I guess then when you're after you, we can move on to the next project. Sahar, was your hand up, or was it a quick up and down?
No, I was just praising what I think Steve just mentioned. I was, kind of acknowledging that our Councilwoman Julie Menon is doing so much for all the parks. So I was just acknowledging and appreciating that.
Thank you, Sahar.
Yeah. And this was a great presentation, by the way, because it gives so much detail and such needed work at our park. So this is great. My kids have always used this park and have loved it. So yeah, great work.
Thanks. I agree completely. And I think the new ADA ramp will be really significant. So thank you.
Absolutely. That's most needed. That was most needed. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to.
Felice, sorry to interrupt. There's a member of the public who wants to ask a question. Watson?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, just one quick question on the full depth asphalt replacement. Is that something that you sort of just tear out kind of where the basketball and tennis courts are now, kind of repave it and then paint over it?
So we literally take up all the asphalt that's there right now. So there's two courses of asphalt. You have the top course and the base course of that asphalt. And then underneath you have like broken stone and soil. We're taking up all the asphalt itself, leveling out the foundation material. So leveling out the stone, so making sure it's a level surface, and putting brand new asphalt on top. That's like 4.5 to 5 inches of asphalt. So it's like a completely new profile. And that's everywhere you see asphalt, and everywhere you see the shaded areas. That's where we're doing that procedure.
And then we'll repaint over it.
And then we're doing the color seal on top of it, of course.
Okay, so it'll be level because like right now it's sort of not level,
Oh,
but
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
one of the goals for this project,
Yeah.
is to get the drainage correct. Because if you have good asphalt, you want to have good drainage too. Otherwise, there's no use in doing it.
great. Thank you.
Thank you. And just we'll move on to Sandra Jackman. But before we do, just one question: do you have to go out to bid for this, or do you have the contractor already on board?
Contract's in place. It's getting finalized right now, but it's not final yet, but it's getting finalized right now with procurement.
It would have been put up a bid, no?
It's been out
Great.
for bid already.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sandra?
Hi, I'm sorry our camera isn't working, but I'm keeping track of what you're doing, and I'm interested in why the wall courts are not part of this project.
You're talking about the handball wall courts?
The handball, tennis,
Well, we are including the tennis court. But if I remember correctly, I think we determined that the handball, well, first of all, we have a limited amount of money. But I think we were told, or when we did a site visit, we determined that the handball the surfaces were not in need as much as the rest of the site.
That's correct.
I see. Do you know when they were last done, when they were last resurfaced?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are you suggesting that we take another look at it?
We could take another look at it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no other hands up, why don't we move on to Carl Shores Park?
Excellent. Okay, Carl Shores Park. This is the Bluestone pavement reconstruction, also a state of good repair project, just as the last, and also just the last. This was funded by Julie Menon with $300,000.
Yeah, let me just put an asterisk on this. This is money that that was approved as a result of the participatory budgeting process. So the people in the community voted for this, and then we determined in consultation with the Carl Shores Park Conservancy the best use of the money was for a particular section, which Max will now describe.
Exactly. So provide safe pavement services for all users, maintain the site drainage patterns, and of course, restore that prominent feature of the park, which is the Bluestone pavement, which really is an identifier of the park and just a great feature. So this is a Carl Shores Park right off 86th Street. You can see the site in purple. Again, it's not a flood zone. It's pretty high up. It's surrounded by residential uses. And this is the area of work. So we're looking right towards 86th Street, towards the west. You can see East End Avenue over there. And then you can see this bluestone walkway, which has been done in the past. The area not outlined in that purple dotted line. But that area outlined in the purple dotted line was not done when the rest of the pathway was done, because I think they ran out of funds. So we're getting this done now, and we're going to finish this walkway to make it look just absolutely gorgeous. The bluestone that you can see in photo 2 is the bluestone we are replacing. It is damaged and it is in need of replacement.
Yeah, let me just add, keep that photograph up. Let me just add that the two staircases on the left and the right that lead up over to the side of the park from this plaza. Those are, one of them was just recently completed with funding provided by the Conservancy, and the other one is now under construction, also funded by the Conservancy. So I don't know whether Judy Howard is on the call, but I would like to publicly acknowledge the work and the support that's been given to us by the Conservancy to improve this whole section. Both of those staircases are also bluestone. So this whole area within the park is going to be dramatically improved in a short period of time.
Exactly. And we've had many talks and walks with Judy and her team, and she's just been wonderful in this whole process. So this is the
to us next month. They'll be on our agenda next month.
Oh, all right. Well, we're beating you to the punch.
This is more photos of the area we are fixing up. That bench you see will remain. We're not touching that bench. It's a great 1939 World's Fair bench. We're not touching the fence, and we're not touching that nice granite capstone either. It's just the bluestone pavement itself. And this is the scope of work. I mean, again, it's relatively simple, but it's a very high quality product that we're using. We're using this 2 to 3 inch bluestone, which is very thick bluestone. I mean, normally in residential applications, it's like an inch and an inch and a half. This is for the institutional use. It will last a very long time. And then we're also setting this bluestone on a concrete base to make it extra strong. And that's what was done, what you can see in that yellow access route for the rest of the park. So that bluestone that's there that was replaced was set on this nice concrete base with the 2 to 3 inch bluestone on top of it. And it looks just fantastic to this day. So we're going to try our best to match the area in purple to that area that's in front of it towards 86th Street. Again, just the area work, and I'll leave up this slide for any questions.
Thank you. This is great, and certainly an area in need of repair. Truly appreciate the work of the Parks Department and the funding from Councilmember Menon. Why don't we go to the questions? Luca, and then Rita Popper.
Hello, hi. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the prior part of the slides. I wasn't able to pose my questions about JJ Park. I have a question. It's not clear to me. It seems that the handball area with the 2 walls are located right now will not be touched. But the question is, during renovations, this area will still be accessible? Thank you.
So we could look into that. I know there is a closed off staircase going up to the handball court. I'm not sure why it's closed, if it's closed because it's unsafe or what. If it's possible to reopen that, we can maybe look at that. But as of now, the current plan is closing it off because the only access is from the multipurpose play area. The staircase I'm talking about is on that brick pathway to the west of the site. Again, I'm not sure the condition of that staircase. I don't know if it's safe to open, but it has been closed off.
All right, so we'll have to investigate this and get back to you.
Thank you. Next, Rita Popper, and then Mary Chan.
Very exciting. Thank you. When are you going to start, and how long will it take?
So I believe this will also start in the spring. However, this is a much shorter project. It should take half the time as John Jay, about 2 to 3 months.
Thank you.
When you say the spring, you mean spring of 24?
Exactly. Sorry, next spring. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Mary, and then Catherine.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a few questions. It's great that it's getting renovated. I wanted to talk about John Jay Park actually, because I didn't have time to raise my hand. My questions are, one, are they able to add more benches around the tennis area? Because there are only 2 benches there. And I thought maybe they can add a couple more, because sometimes they have a lot of little kids are running around, not around just the tennis area, but further away in the middle of the park area. And, you have the sitters sitting there, the parents, and there's not enough seats. That's number one. Number two, the plants, the newly added plants that were done on the new section, are they going to replace them? Because they look terrible during the last summertime. And yeah, and I know we can't help it, but a lot of pet owners let their dogs pee around that area, and maybe that's why some of the plants are dying. Maybe we can fix it up a little different, that we can avoid that. And number three, in the new renovated area, where I thought it was supposed to be a quiet area for adults, is it or is it not?
Well, it's not restricted to any particular age group. That's not something that we could ever enforce. So
right.
Okay. Somebody, I think, well, I know that there was a suggestion early on that it should be restricted to only to seniors or older adults or whatever, but that's just not feasible. And it's
Yeah, it's
a,
not easy because there's a lot of more kids there with their parents, with their bikes and their rollerblades or skates and everything.
and
So
I say
I
when I'm there, I see I see maybe nannies or parents with strollers, and I can't see telling them and that you're not allowed to come into this area. So it's that just wasn't a feasible idea to pursue.
Okay. I know I have a couple more questions. Another thing is about dog pooping in the park, in around the courtyards, the basketball courts, because they're done in the morning. And of course, there are spies that live around in those buildings, and they'll tell all their friends, oh, don't come because there's an officer there. Maybe you should have some undercover, and because they text each other and call each other and say, don't go now because somebody's there. Because I know early in the morning I've been told, and I have seen other doggies when the owners would let them poop and sometimes they don't pick it up. It's very, nasty because there are a lot of little kids that go in there and they fall, their hands go on there. It's not good.
That's putting it lightly. Yes, it's certainly not good. And that is a persistent problem that we've had, not just in this park, but we have done we have done undercover sort of operations, and I'll suggest that to our Parks Enforcement Patrol. Are you suggesting a particular time of day?
Okay. And when you're doing the reconstructive of the pavement inside the whole area, I just want to let you know, I don't know if it was reported, but I know when we have heavy rainfalls, the drainage does not work because you could have like 2-3 inches of water, and especially even when it snows, the water won't drain. So, just to double check on that.
Well, as Max said, one of the objectives of this project in the repaving of the entire site is to fix the drainage. We're well aware of that problem, which is one reason why we're doing this project in the first place.
Yeah, paving and drainage go hand in hand. You have to do both.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Mary.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have Catherine and then Valerie.
Hi there, it's Kate Corkery, longtime resident right next to John Jay Park. And if memory serves me, this was going back quite a way, with Ben Callos's money towards John Jay Park, there was supposed to be tree guards put up maybe 12 years ago, and they've never been put up around all the trees. And if you look at the trees in John Jay Park, especially the ones inside the pool, they're not going to last much longer. And when they did all the reinstallment over near the pool with the new benches and the new flowers and the new everything, they never put the tree guards up. So all the trees are suffering in that park, and they're not going to last much longer. Let me tell you, that park with the drainage problems, and have to say it, a rat infestation problem that has occurred there, which doesn't seem to be fixed. The sandbox, which should actually be removed because it actually just, the sand with the kids and the sprinklers in the summer just clog the drains there. Something really needs to be done to fix this park. And the reason that the pavement is so destroyed from the entrance is because of all the contractors and the trucks from last summer, the summer before, that actually destroyed it when they did the work inside the park. The stone should be replaced on the side. Of course, it should be ADA appropriate. They did some kind of half work with one staircase, but didn't do anything with the other. And that tennis court hasn't been touched in a very long time. So that's all I have to say. You should put the tree guards in, take care of your trees, because some of those big trees with that tree stump that's been gone for about 3 years now, they're not going to last.
Well, let me tell you, I'll have somebody take a look at the trees, but we normally do not put tree guards inside parks.
Well, that was
So-
part of the plan with Ben Callis's initiative years
What-
ago.
I'm sorry, it wasn't part of any plan that I would be familiar with. And I mean, we did talk about putting maybe some low railings along the if you're talking about the sitting area in the back, we did talk about putting some railings, I think, or some low fencing maybe in those planting beds along the fence line. I'd have to go back and check on that. But tree guards, if we're using the term correctly, or what as I am thinking tree guards, that's something we put out on sidewalks outside the parks. Normally, we don't do it inside a park. It's it might be considered a trip hazard. But we can look at the condition of the trees.
And should we take a look at the condition of the trees inside the pool, because they're not lasting much longer either.
No, yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
And I tell you, I think many of us would agree with the comments you made about the sandbox.
Yeah, that should be taken away.
I think that many of us would agree with you on that.
Well, the one reason the pool had to have a whole new filtration system taken in was because there was so much sand that was blocking the drains of the pool over 50 years or whatever. And
Yes.
that's a comment from the contractors that I actually spoke with.
Yeah,
Filled with sand.
Yeah, it's a persistent problem.
Mhm. And the sprinklers in the summer for the kids to enjoy the sprinklers, because they
Right.
throw the sand in the air and it ends up in the sprinkler system.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so those are my comments to make on John Jay Park that I adore and love.
All right, well, I'm glad you do, and hopefully we'll give you more reason to adore and love it.
Okay, thank you. Get some lifeguards this summer.
Oh God, oh dude.
That's another conversation for another day.
Well, we're still actively signing them up and looking for them, and you know, it's a real challenge. But if you know of anybody interested in becoming a lifeguard, please send them to us.
Okay, will do.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Next up is Valerie.
Well, she has to unmute.
Before I ask my first,
You're on mute, Valerie.
am I unmuted now? Because,
Yes.
okay, fine. Before I ask my original question, I just wanted to follow up on the last speaker. Is it really true that trucks are coming into the park and causing the decay of the walkway?
Well, let me tell you, this walkway has been in a deteriorated shape for a number of years, and preceding the work that took place in that sitting area in the back. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the trucks that were involved in that particular project may have compounded the problem. But this I've been trying to get money to replace this walkway for at least I don't know, 6 or 8 years. So it goes. The problem goes back longer than just that work
Okay.
that took place more recently.
Okay, but is that, obviously that's something that should be looked into for the future. If we're going to spend all this money to redo the walkway and then having just trucks come, when they have to do a repair and just use it.
Well, I don't. Listen, I don't foresee any heavy truck traffic in the anytime soon. But,
Okay, well, I'm assuming that people take pictures of the conditions before they allow heavy machinery and trucks on the walkway. So that if that is done, then a claim can be made to get the money back.
We do, and I'm sure that was done in that case too. If our contractor does damage the walkway, they do have to replace it. But I'm pretty sure the walkway was already damaged before the trucks came in for the sitting area.
Okay,
So
right.
that's the only reason, but just keep in mind too, that this asphalt pavement's a very similar pavement we use on our streets. It's DOT spec. So whenever you see a car driving on a street, it's almost the same condition as a car driving on our pavement. Just because it's a very similar spec for the asphalt. I know that, yeah.
That doesn't, in my opinion, give it a very high rating, given what the condition of New York City streets are like after they've been repaved by DOT. But that's for another call. The other thing I just wanted to mention, you were also empathizing with the removal of the sand pit, and is that something that needs to be petitioned to get rid of? What would be the next step? Because it sounds like it's really interfering with the long-term enjoyment of the park.
Well, I hesitate to go out on a limb right now without consulting with other people here. So
okay, well, maybe you could come back to us on that.
Yeah,
That
please.
would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Can we table that item to a later meeting?
Steve, excuse me, Valerie, I'd like to make a comment on that because my local park that I'm close to, that I'm active with, has a sandbox. There are always those parents that want to get rid of the sand because yes, it will undo the water system in the park. But if you go to do that, that meeting has to be well posted and well noted to the community, because the parents who have young children who come to these parks that have sandboxes, they come there for the sandbox. So it's an issue where you'll have as many people who don't want it. And certainly that wasn't an issue that we even thought about talking about or posting at this meeting.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, I agree. I agree.
This is for another time.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
If there are enough people at John Jay that don't want it, then I think we need to think seriously about how we handle this sandbox or any other.
Yeah, appreciate that and defer to, what the correct procedure is. My real question though is about Carl Schurz and the replacement of the bluestone. I just wanted to say thank you to the Conservancy for, it sounds like, funding those repairs. Can you give us an idea of how much that is actually costing and what the I think they should get kudos if they're raising money and providing for that. And additionally, I'd just like to know, when was the last time that the bluestone was actually addressed prior to the Conservancy raising money to have it repaired?
Okay, well, first of all, let's separate two different items. The bluestone in the circular plaza area. Okay, let's go to that. Yeah, the bluestone that's within the perforated lines, that's being paid for with city money through Councilmember Menin's office. What the Conservancy has recently paid for are these two staircases off on the right and the left. I didn't ask them how much it cost.
Okay.
All I did was tell them that they could hire the contractor, and that we would give them permission to do the work. And maybe I should have. I wasn't.
No, that's okay. But I mean, I'm just trying to get an idea of, what if Councilmember Menin and the participatory budgeting didn't put this up there, when was the next time in the Parks Department budget that this would even get addressed? Because as you can see in the pictures that you've picked, it's pretty dramatically impaired.
Yeah.
And dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't tell you, because it's difficult for us to really plot out this type of work, because for the most part we don't have a discretionary capital budget. We in other words, we don't really have a lump sum that we can disperse ourselves and decide on which work should be prioritized. Most of our capital projects are funded through either the council member, the borough president, sometimes a state elected official, and we have to rely upon we go to them and we make requests, but we have to rely upon them as to what they choose to fund. So it's
Well, I appreciate that. I think that's very informative for everyone at the meeting to know that it's basically them prioritizing with their council people what needs to get fixed and funded. So appreciate
Yeah.
that.
well, it's a they're not doing it in a vacuum. They're doing it based on requests that we submit to them. Although they certainly have the option and certainly exercise it at times to tell us what they would like done, and then we tell them what it would cost. But so it's somewhat of a collaborative process.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Really good presentations tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Valerie. Moving on, I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly because it looks Narice.
My name is Nancy Riceabuto. I manage, so I want to go back to John Jay. If you can go back to that picture of the John Jay Park, where it shows the brick promenade. Okay, so I manage the pavilion, which is that white building that's directly behind the park. So there's a piece of property there that's just beyond the brick. Now, years ago, our company paid to do a lot of that bricking there and the sculptures. This is Glenwood Management. That piece of property that's green next to my building actually belongs to the park. So I know it's no surprise to anyone that there's a rat issue 20 feet from the East River. So I pay thousands of dollars to exterminate this whole area. I can't exterminate that because that's not my property. So it actually now is run with burrows, rat burrows. I need help. I need to partner with someone who's in charge of renovating. And once you start all this renovation, there's going to be a huge activity increase. So I want to discuss the extermination of the park in that area because it's going to be a problem for kids. It's just not sanitary.
All right. Well, is there a chat? How do I get your information?
I'm actually located in the pavilion right there. So if you want to either give me your email, I can email you, or I can meet with you, or I just walked with the community officer. And he walked there and he was like, wow, he goes, you've got to get in touch with someone because that's not okay.
Okay.
And
Well,
so I just want to bring to attention because I think people think it's part of the pavilion when it's not.
No, yeah, I'm definitely not. So our regional park manager who oversees the maintenance of the parks on the Upper East Side is on this meeting. Her name is Therese Flores.
Got it.
TERESE.Flores FLORES at parks.nyc.gov.
Great.
And what you should connect with her, and we should definitely, we have our own exterminators. We should be able to send them there, and so you and Therese should get together and meet, and
absolutely,
and then point out the conditions to her.
Steve, let me ask you a question. Knowing about parks exterminating for years, we see the exterminator maybe once or twice a year in a park. If you have a situation like this where it becomes really bad, can you get extermination? Does your budget allow for more frequent extermination?
Well, in recent years, we've been able to hire additional exterminators. And in this administration, because of the mayor's particular interest in dealing with rats, we have been getting even more support in this vein. So we've been able to send exterminators into parks much more frequently than in the past.
Well, that's terrific. Thank you.
And so just to, so I understand exactly the area that we're talking about. So you've got John Jay Park, and then you have that walkway area off, I guess, 77th Street. So where exactly?
It's the pink area on the left side of the screen, that I guess would be the continuation of Cherokee Place. It is what's her name? Nancy is correct. That is part of the park. That is officially New York City Park property.
Okay.
And by the way, your district manager pointed out to us, he got a complaint from somebody in the neighborhood the other day that someone had put swastikas on that sculpture, and we sent somebody out immediately to remove them.
Thank you, Steve. That was so appreciated that you were so fast at getting that handled.
Well, there are certain things you cannot tolerate.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I look forward to getting this area and this issue resolved. I think it's actually something that Tricia brought up a couple of years ago when she was Parks co-chair.
Okay, well, I think we're in a better position now to deal with the issue.
Thank you. Mary, and then Cheryl.
Hi again. I'm sorry I forgot this question, but since we were on the question about pest control, I was wondering, are we going to be changing the garbage can and the way they collect the garbage at the end of the day? Maybe they could put it in the metal containers instead of just leaving the garbage bags on the side, because rats are very strong now. And I know there's been a problem at dusk. They all come out. And I usually, if I'm there that late, I clap my hands out, because I don't want any rat running across my pathway, and I can see them jumping around all over the place. So I was just wondering if you had some kind of a garbage bin that has a cover where garbage would go in, but you can't take it out. Like if the rats go in, they can't come out.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is the point at which we introduce Therese Flores and give her a chance to address this problem.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but now I can't see you.
That's because you're sharing the screen. So hold on.
Okay. But and Nancy, can you see Therese?
Can anyone see me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Hi.
I see you too.
So I'm going to go look at the problem because I've actually just started this week. I've been visiting and touring all the parks, and we can get on top of that right away. We're also looking for a design of a trash can that'll work at this site for our particular packer, and maybe even modifying the way our packer works and the way we do stuff. So we're looking into it very closely. This is something that just came up today. So I'm in the early stages. So check back with me in a couple of days, see how far we get. And my email, which Steve said, if somebody can share it on the chat with everybody else, that would be great.
Well, let me just explain for the people who are not employed by the Parks Department that in Parks Department lingo, a packer is the same as a garbage truck.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks. And next up is Cheryl.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a longtime resident and an avid user of the sports field at John Jay Park. Just wanted to make a quick suggestion and say that we are now in spring and it's very popular, probably the most popular time of the year for the usage of that area. We have adults coming out now because of the nice weather, and the kids are still in school and they're using the area. So it's a very busy time of year. Everybody wants to be there. And my suggestion is that if work is to be done, it should be done at a time when it is a little less, when there's less usage there. Perhaps in the summer, I know it's a lot less crowded there. And I just wanted to make that suggestion, see if that's something that's possible.
So we're trying to do the work when the pool is not open, because that's when the pool is very used in the summer. So in order to do the work at the MPPA, we have to do the work at the entrance area. And we can't have the contractor go to the entrance area in the spring and then the MPPA area in the summer. So with the MPPA area, we're also trying to time it so we don't do it during the colder months, because we do asphalt during the cold months. We have to get the right seam between the asphalt edges and our
I
asphalt.
understand that. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I went through it. I understand that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I understand. So it's because of it's the pool that is the and the
Well, why
entrance.
can't they do the fields at different times?
You can't do the field at a different time that the pool is going to be done?
We can't ask our contractor to stay at the site for extended periods of time because he's liable during that entire time he's at the site. So we're trying to get him as in and out as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to do our best to try to minimize the disruption to activities, and you know, we'll and again, the advantage of this particular contract is that it's not going to run. You know, it's not going to run the full length of a normal capital project.
Yeah.
We get, you know, we'll keep it. We're going to keep it as short as we can.
Let's hope you're right.
Right. Yeah. But by the way, I have a feeling that your name is not Cheryl.
That's my other half.
I don't think we want to know about that right now. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, your other. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Very good.
Seeing no further questions, thank you, Max and Steve, for a really terrific presentation. This is exciting work that's going on, and we look forward to seeing the improvements, and we certainly look forward to you're working in partnership with Nancy to rid that area of rats. So thank you very much. And go ahead.
I'd just like to ask Steve a question, completely off topic. Steve, do we
Yes.
have any word from you about when we're going to hear a presentation on the restrooms at Rupert Park?
Oh, Judy, why are you doing this to me? No.
So that you pick up that pen and you write it down on the pad to remind you that you have to.
I don't have to. I don't have to. I have a flashing light above my desk that says that Judy Schneider wants to know about the Rupert Park restrooms. I'm afraid you know, again, this is a project that's being handled for us by the Department of Design and Construction, and it's part of a multi-site deal. So we're waiting to get more information from DDC, and as soon as I have it, you'll be the first to know.
Okay, I mean, they are aware that this is part of a park that's being redone, and that we don't want the park to be all done and then have to wait a whole year to have the restrooms done and then dig up the park again.
Yeah, I believe that's been, I believe they're well aware of that.
I mean, if you need us to write a letter from the community board, if that would help, I'm sure we would be glad to do that if you tell us who we would address it to.
Well, let's hold off at this point and let me see. Now you're forcing me to pick up my pen. Let me see if I can get an update.
So, Steve, the reconstruction of the park is being done by the Parks Department, and the comfort station is by DDC.
Exactly. Yes. And keep in mind, we no longer say comfort station.
Sorry, restroom.
Yeah, restrooms. Yes.
That sounds challenging when it's not the same contractor doing related work. That
that's common. That's but putting up a building is like one specialty, and then doing landscape reconstruction is another one. So very often those are split. In fact, I can't remember a project right now where both a building project and a landscape project might have been done by the same person, by the same contractor. It's possible, but it's become pretty common where it's done by separate contractors.
But it's still one owner. It's still the Parks Department, and that
Oh,
helps
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just concerned about the coordination of the work, as Judy mentioned, and making sure that it's done as efficiently as possible. If you're going to be digging up the site, the
Right.
utility infrastructure that you need for a comfort station should be done at the same time as you're digging up the site.
Well, I believe we're putting in, I believe we're putting in a lot of the infrastructure as part of the park project itself.
Right,
So that the, and which is something that Judy insisted we do. And
well, that was part of our resolution to
Yeah, right.
parks, that
So,
the infrastructure be put in for the restroom at the time of rebuilding the park.
right, yeah, so I
That
think
makes sense.
so I think we're putting, I believe we're putting in the plumbing and electrical lines so that you don't have to dig up large sections of the park in order to then accommodate the building.
Thank you. Okay, I think we can move on. If there are no other hands, Felice, on this, I think we can move on to the next item.
We just have a hand up from Rita, who I'm sure has something to ask about Rupert Park.
No, it's not asking questions. I'm saying thank you. Thank you to Felice and Judy, and thank you, Steve. I know that the park will be spectacular. I hope I live long enough to see it, but it's a long time. It's a long time, and it's longer and longer, but thank you to everyone, because I know that you're all working for it.
Rita, please don't talk like that. Please, I don't want to hear that. So you're the first person on the guest list for the ribbon cutting. So of course you're going to be there.
I'm the one who got $8.9 million. Don't.
Yeah.
You know,
Why did you stop? You could have gotten us 9 million.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Let's get it done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to the next item, which is another park, and that's Central Park. The Woolman Rink has new activities, and I believe that Jackie Kennedy from City Pickle is here to tell me about what they're doing at Woolman now, and then we'll have Greg talk about what will happen at Woolman for the balance of the season. Kevin, can you find Jackie?
I think I've been unmuted.
Yes.
Welcome.
Great. Judy and Kevin, thank you so much for inviting City Pickle to this meeting. We are extremely excited to share with you all the happenings that's going on at City Pickle in Woolman Rink. We've been open now for 1 month, and we feel like we're fulfilling our mission of bringing joy and community to New Yorkers through pickleball. We are open every day from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., which offers a total of 196 hours of pickleball daily on 14 courts. So there's a lot of opportunity for playing time. Our programming includes open play, clinics, which are basically group lessons, community play, and private court reservations. In addition, we are partnering with currently nine nonprofits providing free programming to groups. One of them is free summer camp for kids. Another one is adaptive pickleball for kids and adults with physical limitations. We also have a pro shop for locals and tourists alike to come in and buy pickleball merchandise or equipment if they so wish. The food and beverage that's being offered now at Woolman has been changed just to be a little bit more appropriate for a warmer weather activity versus the ice skating that happens in the other season. We are also able to host an array of events here, anything from corporate outings to family birthday parties. It seems that we've really generated a buzz around New York City, proving that pickleball really is the fastest growing sport in the country. You can book reservations two ways. One, by going to our website or downloading. We have a City Pickle app, which you could get through the App Store. We hope to see all of you on the court soon. Please ask for me if you stop by, because I would love to meet all of you in person. And I welcome any questions that you might have.
Okay, why don't we hear from Greg? I think I saw Greg Gushi is here for the rest of the season, and then we'll take all the questions after he does his.
Sure. Thank you, Judith and Kevin. As Jackie said, we're really thankful to be here tonight, and actually really thank all of you on this Zoom. All of you care about public spaces in New York City like we do. My name is Greg Goucher. I work for the Related Companies. And just a little bit, I know we were in front of some boards, I can't remember which committees or boards in CB8 about 2 years ago when we announced that we were awarded from the Parks Department the license to take over Woolman Rink, which we're thrilled about. And the partnership is Related Companies, Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, and Equinox as a partnership. And our motivation was during pandemic, we were three companies that thought we need to do what we can to bring life, bring the city back. And by the way, it's back if anyone didn't notice. But at the time, people were not so sure. So we were committed to it. We submitted our bid and we won the license in the parks. And as part of part of what we were willing to do and happy to do and offered was, just so you know, it's a nonprofit. We're not a 501c3, but contractually we are a nonprofit. Any profits we make goes right back into the rink and to our community partners. So we also partner with, as did City Pickle, many of the city's sort of community groups and nonprofits to really bring back New York City in an equitable way. So that's our mission. And we took over again about a year and a half ago. We've had 2 ice seasons now, and we look forward to the next ice season. And I think it's we spent about $8 million renovating everything about a year and a half ago. So if you go there, it'll be an entirely new renovated facility. And we look forward to opening ice season in late October. As most New Yorkers have been accustomed to, there's daily hours. There's skate school. It starts earlier, but our public hours start from 10 to about 10 on most nights. Sunday's a little shorter, and Monday and Tuesday are a little shorter. And there's skate rentals and food and beverage, and you can have events, birthday parties, etc. But we're here to really bring some fun to New York City, and we're happy to answer any questions. But that's again, we don't Parks Department. By the way, thanks for the Parks Department folks on the call. We've had a very good time working with the Parks Department, collaborating on everything. They approve everything, which is great. And so we can't, tell you about our hours or pricing or anything for next season because that's all subject to Parks approval. But we are psyched to open up. We're excited about City Pickle this off season, and then we're excited to start this ice season in late October.
I'd like to ask, so your season is from October to March, April?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Again, some of it's dependent on weather.
And then the rest of the year is the pickleball season.
Well, we have been trying a few things. And so last season, as you may remember, we had it's called Disco Oasis. It's a disco roller skating event last season. And this season we chose City Pickle. And going forward, due to the success of City Pickle, and really embracing City Pickle of the city, I think we will definitely consider doing this again next year. But the real Woolman Rink is an ice skating rink, and we will make sure that is a ice skating rink that we're open on time in October to April. And then the summer season is up to what we figure out. At the moment, City Pickle has been a great success this season.
Well, we're all happy for that. Can you tell me how long your lease is with the city?
It was 5 or 5.5 years from, I guess.
Okay, so you have 3 or 3.5 years left.
That's right.
Okay. All right, those are my general questions. Kevin, I can't see the rest of the hands. So could you do that for me? Can you tell me whose hands are up and recognize members of the public before we go to the community board?
Judy, I don't see anybody with their hand up.
Okay, do we have any community board members that have any questions?
I don't. Oh, Mubin.
Hi, Mubin.
Hi, Judy. Hi, Felice. Hello, everyone else. I don't know. I wasn't sure, Judy, if you had, I didn't see us on the agenda, but I didn't know.
No,
if this is
we'll get to you. We'll get to
Okay.
you. You're the next. You're
right.
coming up, next item.
All right, understood.
Okay. Okay, do we have any other questions on Wallman Rink? And what's going on there? Okay, well then, we wish pickleball and skating, we wish Greg and Jackie the best of luck, and we hope you have a very good season. I think it's very exciting. Pickleball seems to be the new sport, certainly here on the east side. That's all we seem to be hearing about. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Felice, did you want to mention about those two pictures that you took today? I think you sent them to Kevin.
Yeah, so I was gonna wait till we did our update from the Parks Department, although I guess you could say we had an update from the Parks Department.
Right.
So Kevin, if you could share the photos that I took. And so I guess this is for Parks folks who are still here.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Also, I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Robert McLean is here. So
Oh, well, why don't before you share your screen, if you could unmute Robert. Robert is the new regional manager for District 15 for the Esplanade. Maybe he would like to say hello and say a few words to us.
Yes, okay. Good evening. Yeah, well, I'm new here for District 8, but Therese Flores and I started about the same time, so we've been colleagues for a long time. So I ran, what do you call, District 7 and 9 and 10 and 11, and then we moved me around, so I'm here. So I work at 8 now, and Central Park and the East Esplanade, as well as District 10, 11.
Okay, but you are now running the Esplanade District 15, is that correct?
You are correct.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for coming, and we look forward to working with you on the Esplanade. As you know, in Community Board 8 area from 59th up to 96th Street, we have a number of projects going on with various different city agencies to improve the Esplanade.
It's a magnificent structure. I'm just getting used to it, but I've spent 4 hours walking on the structure so far.
Well, and I look forward to hearing from you at a future meeting on the efforts to fix the sinkholes on the park and the time frame for that. So thank you.
Looking forward.
Robert, are you okay with sharing your email with the participants?
Wait.
Yes, I was having difficulty unmuting. Yeah, that'd be fine. Sharing my email, that's fine.
Great.
Okay, Kevin, would you put that in the chat?
And then Kevin, as you get ready to share those two photos, I'll just thank the Parks Department for the work they've done at the multipurpose play area in Carl Shores Park. After a lot of discussion and thought and planning from the Parks Department, I saw that you have kind of repaved and repainted 3/4 of the multipurpose play area and put in the 3 pickleball courts as you had planned. And if you could show the other photo as well, you can show the pickleball courts that are there it looks terrific. Nice, smooth pavement, nicely planted. Pickleball course, it looks terrific, but as the first photo shows, if you can swing back to that, the work was not done on the basketball court. And it doesn't, and now in contrast, it looks pretty crappy. It didn't look as bad when the whole area looked that way, but now in contrast, it looks like it's in need of some TLC and some fixing, some uneven pavement within there. So I was wondering if we could get an update, or at least, Parks could come back to us and let us know if there are plans to do the basketball court section of that multipurpose play area. Therese?
Hi there. So I was at the site today, and I don't know if you got to see also the park leaf that we put in the center since you took that picture. It's quite
right. I took it last night, so
it's a green and blue, and I think we're going to have a opening very soon and an official announcement on when we're going to do that basketball court, because our Deputy Chief Bonnie Williams visited today and is looking seriously into repairing that area sooner rather than later. So we're looking at what resources we need and how much we can do to get that back up to snuff, especially being at such a huge contrast with the gorgeous area next to it. So yeah, we're on it. We're working towards that, and we should be able to come up with an update soon.
Oh, terrific. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
While you're here, Therese, since Lori and Sheena are not here, do you have anything to report on any of the parks in the district that we haven't already covered that we should know?
So we're working on the sandbox next, and we'll try to fill that up and bring it to snuff at St. Catherine's. Also, we recently filled the sandbox at Carl Schur's. I'm actually going to look into putting up signs for people to leave the sand in the sandbox so that we can reduce the amount of damage being done at all of our parks where we have sandboxes. My kids love sandboxes, and it's unfortunate. So I understand the reasons why it causes problems, and getting people to understand. Doing outreach also helps. So I sometimes will stop by parks when we've got the most kids and say, hey, we got to keep the sand in the sandbox. My kids also help me do that. It's pretty funny. They did it at Carl Schur's, I think it was last week when we were looking at all the cherry blossoms. It was pretty hilarious. So I think, behavior is something that you can't really design for. And so hoping that you can get your neighbors to do the right thing and not carry sand all over the park is something we try to do with signs. So I'll try and get some signs for that. And we're looking into a good design for putting in better trash cans at John Jay. Lori Knowles, who is our PS2, is very dedicated to our parks, and she is very involved and active. And she was here a minute ago trying to catch up on all her paperwork, and so she works night and day tirelessly to keep our parks clean and beautiful. And she really wants to do the best for John Jay to get the rat problem under control. And it's on the top of her list right now. And we do have some awesome exterminators. John Jay is somewhere we can use the Burr RX, which is a machine that uses carbon monoxide. Anywhere when we're not within 10 feet of a building line, we can use it. So we're going to have to look into other ways of disturbing the rodents wherever we have a building line. So I'm going to meet with Nancy, who was nice to just get her email just now and try to come up with a solution and reduce the amount of food these rodents are getting as well. So I'll be looking at what situations we have with our trash, feeding the rats, and anywhere else. I've worked closely with Department of Health on this in the past. So our exterminators are expert at dealing with this stuff. So they have many different tools under their belt for addressing rodents. So I look forward to addressing that and really getting that problem under control. Other than that, we keep a close eye on things. If you need to reach out to me, you all now have my email, please do. We also check closely with 311. We now have a 311 specialist in our office. So we're very responsive to that as well. So thank you so much for giving me the time. Would you like me to mention all the wonderful events that that we just found out about yesterday?
Sure, you can go ahead. I have a question for you when you get finished.
Okay, so as we've come to the end of June, I mean the end of May, we have Dune showing at St. Catherine's Park, which is old favorite of mine. And it's neat to see that it's playing in the park in the evening at 7:30 p.m. So again, that's at St. Catherine's Park. We have Dune, and then we have other events in June. Fridays, every Friday in June, we have a tango night at Carl Schurz Park from 4 p.m. to 5:30. And these are all events sponsored by Julie Menon. And we have also a skate night at Carl Schurz Park on Friday, June 2nd. There's a family session from 4 to 5:30 and an adult session from 6 to 7 p.m. We also have Movies Under the Stars at John Jay, which will be June 3rd. And that's going to start at 7:30 also. That's Spider-Man is showing, No Way Home, which is a great thing to take your kids to see. Jungle Cruise is going to also be showing near us in 24 Sycamores Park. That's going to be at 7:30 in the evening on June 10th. So I think I've mentioned them all. I'll go through and look through and make sure we've got everything there. But other than that, I'm looking forward to some of those movies.
Thank you very much. Now I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Well, why don't we have one hand up, Judy? So while you think of your question, why don't we go to Phyllis Wallach?
Hi, first of all, we are so excited about the pickleball courts. As you know, I've been a big proponent of it, and we are really excited, and they look so perfect and beautiful, and we really appreciated everybody's work on it. So there's a rumor going around that Commissioner Perez is officially opening the pickleball courts on Saturday. Is that true, or is that just a rumor?
It's a rumor. Let me confirm it in the next 2 seconds and get back
Okay.
on with you.
And the other thing that I want to talk about, I'll bring up during new business. So, but thank you again. We are so excited on behalf of the Carl Schurz Park Pickleball Committee and community. We are very excited, and we will be out there as soon as they tell us we can be.
Okay, Teresa, I remembered what I wanted to ask you. I know Parks has a whole signage department, but could we kind of, particularly dealing at John Jay with this exterminating problem, could we kind of go around them, and could we get a little square sign with the leaf that says, please do not feed the pigeons?
Yes.
Because that is a huge part of the rat problem in any park. Because when they feed the pigeons, it doesn't all get eaten by the pigeons. And then, thank you, our friendly little 4-footed friends are there to finish cleaning up what's left. And can we do that without officially going through Parks and maybe getting some 8.5 by 11 signs and just sticking them up around the park and various?
But we have official signs that say do not feed the birds, and I can show you that one. I'll send it to you so that you can see what it looks like. And they're big, they're nice and bold, and they have our park leaf, and they're very official, and they won't get torn down.
We need obviously to get one out there in the walkway where Nancy was talking about, where the rats are a problem.
Great,
And
okay.
we also need them in the park, because the people who sit on benches, they eat their lunch and then they think they should share it with the birds.
Writing to the sign shop now.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if that's Teresa's report, then under new business, the first item we have is a report on the program that's happening in Rupert Park on, I believe it's Saturday, May 20th, but if that's not correct, Mubin, you can correct me.
Thank you, Judy. No, that's exactly right. Thank you for hosting the session. We appreciate the time to present our upcoming event to the board. Thank you, Judy and Felice, for always supporting the event. Muslim Volunteers for New York, for those of you who are joining and meeting us for the first time, is a nonprofit. It's a registered community service organization, and environmental stewardship is one of our 4 platforms. And under that, we have been stewards of Rupert Park for the last 8 years. Well, officially 6 years, but we've been serving them since 2015. This, I believe, the upcoming event is our Spring Environmental Stewardship and Park Beautification Day. I believe it's our 10th one. Sahar, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's our 10th semi-annual event. We will be planting for the spring season all in one go. I wanted to say hello to Therese, who I have not met before. Our outreach coordinator, Ashley Kennedy, had mentioned you, Therese, so I look forward to communicating with you and working with you on this event.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. And we'll definitely touch base after this meeting, hopefully. But we will be hosting, we every spring and fall host this event. We are looking forward to all the neighbors and New Yorkers coming out, and people from far and wide usually participate in our spring planting. We have people signing up. We have a registration link that we have put out in a flyer that we put out. Judy, I believe you have already shared that in your newsletter, right?
Kevin, that would be the community board. Do you have that flyer, Kevin?
I have the flyer, but I don't seem to have the link. Maybe you can message me the link and I could put it in the chat.
Okay. We'll
Kevin,
do that.
if you click on that flyer, then it takes you to that registration link.
Oh, okay. I see. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and maybe you can mention it in your weekly bulletin.
We would really appreciate it. We would love for a lot of the neighbors to come out. We have many of them here on the call, and besides Judy and Felice, Rita has been a regular and hasn't missed any event, and for that we're very grateful. We're hoping to plant over almost 2,500 small, beautiful plants and shrubs and perennials, so we can use all the help that we can get. We will also have urban park rangers there that will educate volunteers, young and old, about safeguarding our green spaces, a little bit about saving our flora and our fauna. We will have eco-friendly arts and crafts, which are complimentary, and usually a lot of the kids as well as adults enjoy those. We will also be, sadly, we don't have live music, which we typically do, but unfortunately we've been facing a pretty significant challenge with getting a generator. Usually New York City Parks provides the generator. They've been having some trouble with that. So Therese, maybe we will reach out to you, or if any members of the community board 8 have any ideas, or if friends of the Esplanade are here. I know they often do musical events as well, but we are struggling to get a workable generator so that we can hire a band and have an event for this wonderful district. We are hoping to have, we will have music. It won't be live for this event, but we hope to have one on June 16th. If anybody has any ideas, please reach out to us, because we're looking forward to getting some good feedback on that front. In addition to that, we will be mulching, cleaning, beautifying the park, and there will be complimentary refreshments, compliments of Muslim Volunteers for New York. As always, we've really advocated for the park for the last 8 years. We bring all the elected officials out. Many of them have confirmed attendance. So we look forward to all of you neighbors engaging with them and sharing all of our concerns that we have. We've also been working with Elizabeth and Eliana with the Upper East Side Dog Collective. I don't know if they're on the call here today. But if they're not, I wanted to mention to Therese, Sheena had promised them that she will put signs up on the day of the event that for the duration of the event, there should be no dogs on in the park, because we'll be mulching the dog run, the so-called dog run. The Dog Collective has requested that we do that, and we are happy to accommodate everybody. So we will be doing that. But Sheena said she will be putting up signs from New York City Parks about that.
We have that in line.
Yes.
Sorry, and Mubin, if I may interject, I just wanted to give a couple of shout out. I wanted to especially thank, obviously New York City Parks and especially Steve for providing us the New York's, the urban park rangers.
Yes.
And, he was instrumental in doing so. And Teresa, obviously we're really looking forward to working with you. And also, so the park rangers would be there for everyone. And the band that Mubin is mentioning about is the second program that we want to have in June. And that would be a music, that we want to have a band over that can play for the neighbors. And for that, we need a generator. And so
We're actually looking to get a new one. Ours is not working right now, so we're working on getting it. So stay tuned.
It would be great. Yes, we can then use yours and then have the band as well.
And if you email me, I can send you my contact so that I can help you while Sheena's
That
not
would
here.
be great. The other special person that we wanted to give a huge shout out was our council member Julie Menon, because she is behind this whole project that we're doing on May 20th. And as you all know that I wear double hats, that's why I'm speaking up. I'm on the community board as well, but right now I'm speaking in capacity of Muslim Volunteers for New York. So she was the one who provided us the grant and the resources that this event is happening. And if we get the generator, then on June 16th, we are planning another one. And that would be an entertainment, music event. Again, the resources are what, our councilwoman, Julie Menon, has given us. So big shout out to her. So thank you. It has been a collaborative work. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So that pretty much is it. I would really appreciate it, Kevin, if you can maybe circulate the flyer again, if it's possible, so that those neighbors that haven't seen it will see it and sign up. We are getting signups pretty quickly. We do get volunteers coming all the way from Westchester, New Jersey, Long Island, in addition to New York and of course our neighborhood. And Rita, I look forward to seeing you and Barbara and all the other neighbors there, along with Judy and Felice. And I hope Barry will come, Judy. We would love to see him. We miss him and would love to have him there.
Thank you, Mubin.
Thank you very much, Mubin.
And if any questions, please,
Jane Calvin, is your hand up?
Yes, thank you. It is. I'm hoping we're on the new business part of the meeting.
We are.
Okay, great. I live at 91st in New York, and I'm a frequent visitor at the Carl Schurz Park. And I am so impressed with the beautiful work that's been going on there. The paving, the plans for the paving, and also pickleball courts. However, one issue I've noticed over the years, and especially this spring, is the lack of green space in that park. There are lots of chips and there's dirt. And the pet owners are taking advantage of the lack of enforcement of all the signs that are up saying no pets, and in a sign, a very sad sign saying we've given up because we're not going to try to restore these lawns because the pets destroy them. Now there are 2 dog runs in Carl Schurz, yet these are ignored by the pet owners. The saddest thing though is I was over there on Earth Day, and the volunteers have given up. They say we have given up. We cannot enforce this. I've mentioned stuff, and then the responses from the pet owners who are in violation range from the obscene to the ridiculous. So I'm just wondering, what resources are there to restore green spaces to this park? There are chips, all over where the dog owners are playing with. I mean, there are simply no green space. And I despair of the Rupert Park that's being planned. But anyway, the focus for me is on the Carl Schurz. I mean, I don't know if there are park rangers. I've talked to the Conservancy. I've tried almost everywhere, and I don't know what we can do except maybe hire a guard or the undercover.
Jane,
yes.
Jane, let's ask Therese if she has any comments on this. I think dogs are the problem. I also think that you should come back to next month's meeting when we have the Carl Schurz Conservancy people here. But Therese, is there anything we can do about keeping the dogs at Carl Schurz in the dog run?
So we do enforcement, and a lot of times that's what the best way to educate people about maintaining our park and being respectful, and when and where they should go, like pointing them to the dog run. So it doesn't seem like they read signs anymore. So we need to have somebody there who can also do enforcement so that people comply. So I need to talk to our Parks Enforcement Patrol. We call them our PEP officers, and ask them when they can come by and do some spot checks and work with us to try to bring this into
Yeah,
some kind of a better situation.
I know at one point, the Carl Schurz Conservancy years ago, I think when you were here the last time, they were paying for their own PEP officer. I don't think they are anymore, but maybe next month we could discuss this a little bit more during the meeting.
That would be great. Yeah, we had lawns. We had a lot of volunteers. We did a lot of watering. We had, I think Central Park also assisting with a lot of our lawn care. The chip area that we have under the trees is so shaded that I think that kind of needs to remain chip because it protects the tree roots. But areas where we have sun, like the passive lawn that are on that half lawn, this half circle lawn, they can definitely be protected better. And other areas that have been established in the past, that I see how hard the Carl Schurz Park Conservancy is working to get them. And the North Lawn hopefully can get there with a little bit more enforcement.
Okay, so let's leave this for next month and maybe we'll take it up again. Kevin, I can't see if, Phyllis Wallach has her hand up. Phyllis, do you want to, you had another issue?
Yeah, so thank you very much for giving me a chance, Judith. I appreciate you so much and what everyone on the committee is doing. So now that we have 3 permanent courts, yay, for pickleball, we want to make sure that the community we built last year, where we have open play and people of all ages and abilities get to play on those courts, and that we give free lessons to kids. We want that all to be able to continue. So what we're looking for and hoping for is that the committee will come up with a resolution to ensure that permits are not given on those pickleball courts. And the reason for that is we don't want them to get privatized. We don't want people using them for their own purposes instead of them being there for the community. So what we're hoping is that we understand that the Conservancy has movie nights and there are events that the Parks Department puts on, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about actually people getting a permit to use the pickleball courts for their own use. And we're looking for a resolution to not allow permits for those courts. And that's what we're really hoping for.
Is Steve Simon still with us?
Steve, are you still with us? Are you still with us, Steve?
He's running. We could see him running by.
Oh, by the way, I got a confirmation.
Did you get an answer?
Anthony's going to come on Saturday, by the way.
Yes,
He is coming
Let
Saturday?
Steve tell you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
I'll let you, Steve, tell you.
This is a question that goes to Steve, because this is not something the community board can decide about who gets a permit and who doesn't. That's a Parks Department.
Well, we want a resolution that says there will be no permits.
No, wait, let's wait
Okay.
until Steve
Hi,
gets
Steve.
back to his,
Am I
Deep breath.
Yes.
unmuted?
you are.
Okay,
Okay.
Phyllis, nobody is getting a permit to play pickleball at Carl Schurz Park or any other park that I'm aware of. We have enough issues with our permit system. We don't need to get involved with issuing permits to pickleball players, as much as we might like them. But we don't intend to clog up our permit system, giving out permits to pickleball players. So
Well, may I ask you a question though, Steve? If I ask for a permit to use on that open play area that encompasses those courts, Are
Yes.
we then now gonna have a problem where we can't go play pickleball because someone got a permit that includes, so we want to make sure that if you're gonna give a permit, you give it to the open play part of the area that does not include those pickleball courts.
Okay, well, that's a
Understand what I'm
different,
saying?
yes, all right,
Yeah.
yes, and that's a different question. And I'm not prepared to answer that question tonight.
That's
So,
fair.
So, because I think there could be a circumstance in which there might be a larger event that may require the full space, and maybe that would include the pickleball courts. I don't know whether or not, I
So
don't
our
know whether,
concern is that people are gonna get permits
right.
all the time and then play pickleball on our
No,
pickleball
no,
court.
no, I think that would really be, I think, a rare occurrence. I really don't think you need to worry about it.
We love you.
Well, please.
Our 1,800 members of our community love you. We just
Okay,
want you to
thank
know
you
that.
very much. I think we need to move along. Kevin, are there any other members of the public before I call on the community board members?
No.
Okay, then Valerie and then Rita.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Two things, and I'm not sure that this is, I'll ask the chairs to guide me. I have been receiving many complaints about the reservoir and the presence of dogs on the reservoir track. And I don't know, Therese, if that's or you can help, but apparently even the volunteers who were there, instead of the dogs being using the bridle path, they're on the reservoir track. And there doesn't seem to be any enforcement going on there. And there's as far as I can tell, very limited signage. And to your point, no one's reading the signs either. So I was wondering if that's something you can look into. She's muted. Kevin.
There we go. Hi. So Central Park has a really great crew over there, and I can reach out to them and let them know that you mentioned this at the community board meeting and see what they can do.
That would be great. Thank you. And then the second thing, Judy, if I may, and tell me if you've already done this, there was a presentation at the Transportation Committee meeting by the Central Park Conservancy regarding the drive survey. Have you mentioned that here?
Oh, because we were told by the transportation chairs that it is a joint meeting, but it is strictly their item. So
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
What, take it up at the transportation meeting. We're not covering it.
Well, I was just going to ask if you could just put in the chat to take the survey, because there are like almost 40 people about usage of the drives. I mean, is that okay? I can give consent to Kevin the drive survey. Okay.
Sure. Why don't you give it to him? He can put a survey in the chat, and if people want to take it, they can.
Yeah, I mean, so I could just tell you what it is. It's the Central Park Conservancy is looking for everyone to have input on the equitable use of the drives in the park. And so if you haven't taken that survey, I would encourage you to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valerie. Okay, Rena.
First, I want to say welcome to Therese. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, but I look forward to it. But a special thanks to Mubin and Sahar. Their group does a wonderful, wonderful job in a very, very difficult area. Difficult only because what they put in on Saturday almost gets picked out on Sunday because we have so many dogs, and that nobody can do anything about that. But you do make the place look, you do make River Park look special. You do make it look better. And I want you to know that every spring I use the tulip, the daffodils and the crocuses that you plant. Those are my harbingers of spring. So I want you to know you do a great job, and thank you. And thank you for Council Member Menon for supporting the organization.
Can we see if anyone from her office?
Thank you, Rita, very much for your comments. They're appreciated. And I want to thank everybody from Parks who came tonight for their input to keep us up to date. Max, it's nice to have you with us. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Teresa. And if there is no other new business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Not yet. No, not Judy,
Okay.
not. yet.
Okay.
I have to say something to Phyllis.
Okay, go right ahead.
And I'm glad to see that Albert, the pickleball doctor, is also on the call.
Yeah.
Borough Commissioner Perez will in fact be at the park playing pickleball Saturday morning at 9:30.
Okay.
And can I also add a couple of other things? Teresa rattled off a whole bunch of different events coming up in June. I have forwarded the flyers for those events to Will and to the two of you. I'm hoping the community board will help spread the word and help us bring people out for those two events. And Judy, in the future, please don't encourage Therese to break the Parks Department rules about signs. And if you're going to do it, don't do it publicly. I mean, really.
Okay. Sorry, I apologize.
I mean, have some sense. You're going to get her into all sorts of trouble having her print unauthorized signs.
Well,
I mean,
maybe Steve, maybe
she just started on this job in your district, and you're already.
Listen, I love Therese. She was wonderful when she was here before, and I'm not getting her into any trouble. And she tells me that you already have the signs that says.
Yeah, I know, but you're encouraging her to break our rules. I mean,
No, I'm not.
Yeah, Judy,
she said
please.
you have the signs. So.
I know, but okay, but yeah, you
But you have to call me out. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I have to do that. Yes. Okay. Thank you anyway. Thank you all.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate your spending your time with us and answering our questions. And Max, it's good to have you as part of the team. Thank you.
It's good to be here.
Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn? Okay, Rita.
Sorry, Judy, I think Sahar wanted to talk about something.
Oh, okay. Sahar, go ahead.
Sorry, Judy, just a small thing that I just wanted to mention about May 20th, which because Rita was mentioning about the flowers, and Rita, thank you so much for always that beautiful shout out, that we'll also be painting. So I know sadly sometimes, the planting that we do, it gets trampled the next day and the days after, but we'll also be painting this time. So the place, the park, it is going to look gorgeous. And there's a huge element that I feel like Steve and his whole team has played in this of providing us a lot of material. So, you will see changes and you will see a lot of beautification of our, lovely Rupert Parks. Just wanted to put that out, that all the hard work doesn't go to vain. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Felice, I just wanted to jump in and also echo Sahar's words. And I thought Steve had left. So Steve, since you're there, I hope we will see you at the park as well. We really look forward to welcoming you there along with the rest of the community. And yes, Sahar is right. This time we're not only painting the benches. I forgot to mention we will also be painting the brick facade. So we're really looking for a really spruced up, brighter Rupert Park. And hopefully finally get the attention that we've been advocating for years for it to get. So looking forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you for your time.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Have a nice evening, everybody, and we'll see you next month. I guess before we leave, I should say we're expecting to have Carl Schurz Park Conservancy come speak to us and Friends of the Esplanade. And we may also have another update on the Esplanade, but we don't know that yet. So watch the agenda for next month, please. Good night, all.
Good night.